Analyzing a vast chronological architecture spanning billions of days requires a strict transition from historical estimates to exact engineering specifications. To audit the foundational logic of the biblical timeline, we execute a diagnostic command: run Eden init 30 plus 5. Most chronological models rely on the Gregorian or Julian calendars, which use simplified year lengths for daily utility. Using a rounded Julian year creates a discrepancy that compounds over thousands of years. Over deep time spans, this drift forces the modular alignment out of phase. A sequence designed to land on a Sunday instead terminates on a Wednesday or Thursday. At this scale, the math is binary. The weekly phase either holds or the entire architecture becomes incoherent. To prevent system-wide drift, the audit requires a foundational constant tied directly to physical reality. We utilize the true solar precision time year, exactly 365.241896698 days. This 10-decimal figure represents the actual orbital period of the Earth. It is the hardware clock built into the solar system. We will use this constant to scale a primary sequence by 1,000 and audit the results across 4 billion days. Using a value with any less precision results in a 3-day phase error, making it impossible to verify the underlying weekday rhythm. The first input is a 30-year span. In the biblical record, 30 is the consistent age for administrative activation. Adam is created at 30, Abraham is called at 30, and the Messiah's ministry begins at 30. To this 30-year threshold, we add the 5 days of creation described in the first chapter of Genesis. These represent the cosmic preparation sequence before the first administrator is formed. Run solely on the 30-year cycle. The result lands on a Friday, matching Adam's creation. Adding the 5 creation days introduces a +2 correction, shifting the termination to Sunday. These 5 days function as a mathematical bridge, resetting the phase from the day of birth to the first day of active service. We now scale this 30 plus 5 unit using the established time dilation protocol. Following the principle that 1 day is as 1,000 years, we apply a 1,000x multiplier to the sequence. This expands the 30 Edenic years and 5 creation days into a deep time Earth year equivalent. We convert these scaled years into Earth days by multiplying against our 10-decimal constant. The result is 4,03,881,924 days, with a remainder of 0.392. We have now reached the final temporal coordinate. The system is ready for a modular audit to see if the Sunday rhythm remains intact after 4 billion days. We process the integer through a modulo 7 audit to determine its position in the weekly cycle. The calculation returns a remainder of 0. The integer is perfectly divisible by 7. In a 7-day system starting on Sunday, a remainder of 0 indicates a perfect Sunday alignment. We can now resolve the fractional remainder of 0.392 to determine the exact time of day. Converting the fraction to a 24-hour clock places the moment at 9:24 and 33 seconds a.m. Under Hebrew reckoning, which begins at sunset, this lands 15 hours and 24 minutes into the first day of the week. The sequence terminates in the active morning hours of a Sunday. This result is only possible if the 10-decimal orbital constant is used. Any other value would miss this window by days. We can now evaluate this result against the standard mortal timeline used elsewhere in the protocol. On the left, we have the 30-year mortal span of 10,957 days. On the right, the dilated Edenic scale. Though the scales differ by a factor of 100 million, the underlying mechanics are identical. Both spans bridge a Friday origin to a Sunday activation using the same +2 modular shift. The math indicates a self-similar pattern. The same Sunday signature found in the 60-generation genealogies is repeating here, at the scale of billions of days. We began with a 10-decimal orbital constant and followed a 3-step scaling process to a 4 billion day coordinate. This data is deterministic. The Sunday result disappears if the year length is rounded or the dilation ratio is altered. The Edenic clock contains a signature that scales without drift from the first week of creation through the entire mortal timeline. After 4 billion days, the math terminates precisely where it began, on the first day of the week.